Hi, good morning, everybody. Today is January 22nd, and this is the Dev Call. To give you a little bit of background, the last half a year we've spent researching and building the next version of Tellor, and that includes building the next version along with a bridge. And generally, a CREM is usually working and implementing any changes to the design. Tim usually works on the bridge and any tools that our users will need to be able to use our new version of Tellor. And also, obviously, everybody works on integrations and making sure that everything that we have continues to run properly. Brian usually he works on our front end, and he's also working on making sure that we have a front end for the next version. Dan generally works on, right now he's helping us out with testing, and Spuddy, he does anything node related, Tellor related, and integrations related, along with, and then obviously Mike, he does all of our marketing and making sure that all of our integrations are done properly. So with that said, let's get started. Akram, any questions?
No, I'm just going to be working on the cycle list issue. So, and probably have to do another pass on the PR, but if anybody wants to take a look, it's up there.
I forgot what the cycle list issue is, but the cycle list basically is a list of data.
It's not really an issue, but it's like a change in the way we're doing it versus instead of only on empty blocks, just submit for it every block.
Every block. Okay.
Or be able to submit for it for every block. Yeah. It's just a change in the way we're
doing it.
We're doing it, yeah.
Okay, so for everybody that doesn't know, the cycle list is just a number of feeds that people are going to be allowed or required to submit on every block, whether or not there's a tip. And that's just to maintain, the chain alive, I guess, and not allow for empty blocks. Tim, how are you doing?
Good, yeah. Well, one thing aside from layer is we're trying to get over on Manta network and
Mantle.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. And we have to get our bridge mapped from Ethereum mainnet over to Mantle. I wasn't getting any progress, but this morning I got into a new Telegram group and someone responded about it. So we'll see. That's the update on that side. It's not approved, but someone noticed me.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we have all of the things deployed, so we're just waiting on them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've got some stuff deployed, so yeah, like Brenda said, we're waiting on someone else to get it fully live. And then on the layer side, I'm working on the rest of the inputs that are needed for signing the validator set. This is for the bridge. So we need to track the validator set over on the bridge side. And so there's special information needed on the layer that everyone signs, and then that gets passed across. So I've got the validator set saved, and then now I need the other pieces of information before validators can sign that data.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get those signatures then going in the next day or two, hopefully.
Awesome. And we should have Faku on the call today. So Faku's helping us with the Cosmos SDK. Brian?
Yeah, I was able to migrate our graph over to Arbitrum, which took me a little bit off the Explorer, but now I'm back on the Explorer and just trying to figure out how to translate the block data on the transaction page.
Awesome, thank you. And Dan, how are you doing?
Pretty good. I am using one of Faku's workshops to switch from using private key signatures for commit report to a hash with salt.
Nice. And which module are you on now?
Oracle.
Oracle. Okay. And then Spuddy, how are you doing?
Great. I'm working on getting Tellor to work with Mantle testnet. So far it's working great, but the way that we're getting the estimated gas price isn't working, so I wanted to ask Akro. We're using get fee history to get the previous block's gas price and then using that, right? That's how Tellor's doing it now.
Right. For type 2 transactions, yeah. But if it doesn't work on Mantle, then
It doesn't seem to be working on Mantle testnet. It's like there's no history, probably because I think like, I'm not really sure, but I think each transaction might be a block. Like just anytime somebody makes a transaction, that's a block on Mantle. Because when I look at the block explorer, every block says one transaction, one transaction.
Oh.
I haven't read their docs enough to do that, to know that for sure. But I think I'm gonna do what it says in their docs, which is to use a different call. They say to use get ETH gas price or get ETH estimate gas. I guess we got to use estimate
Yeah.
gas.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we do for type 0 or legacy transactions. Maybe they don't support type 2 transactions. I mean, I don't know anything about Mantle because I think we had this problem with another chain. I can't remember where it didn't support type 2 and only supported legacy transactions. I'm thinking maybe this is the same thing because if they're telling you to use ETH estimate, then that's probably what it is because that's legacy transactions estimations.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ask if they even support type 2 transactions. Then. Thank you.
Yeah, give it a shout on, I mean, I don't know if, well, I think we got Mantle. Yeah, ask. But there were some differences between the testnet and the production when I deployed on Friday or Thursday. One particular one was for some odd reason. I usually deploy multi-sig along with all of the contracts for voting purposes. And on the testnet, verified as normal. On mainnet, it doesn't want to verify for the life of me, not manually, not through hard hat, but the bytecode is exactly the same. So I don't know. That's what
there's a strong possibility that there's a difference in what the RPC allows for mainnet versus testnet too. So I got to try the testnet when we can.
Yeah. But the rest of the contracts, the actual Tellor contracts, they're all verified. It's just that one contract that was an oddity. So we'll figure it out.
We'll be good to go soon, I'm sure. I'm adding a whole bunch of price feeds for a project also. It's a big list of new price feeds that are mostly stuff that is happening on Mantle.
And I did, so we actually have a version deployed on Manta and, or Tellor deployed on Manta and on Mantle. So let's remember to keep those because they're both deployed.
And they're very different.
Well, it's easy to refer to in the docs. It says it's actually Manta Pacific, which is helpful to differentiate the two.
It would have been helpful if we had made it Manta Pacific in the Python code.
Yeah, fair enough.
I might to my scripts.
Spuddy, do we know if the project on Mantle for that the Byte Masons guys are doing, is that actually Ethos Reserve? Just another version of that? You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay. I should clarify that with them.
Don't know for sure. I can't add you to the Discord group because it already has 10. It has 10 members. Apparently, that's all we're allowed to.
No, I'm in it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it's just I read
Maybe
it.
that's why I couldn't add you.
That's probably why. But yeah, it's definitely not clear. It's just like when Tellor Mantle. So we should find out.
Yeah.
And then one just, I guess, final announcement or whatever, shameless plug. So I actually went back and wrote best practices for Oracle implementations again on Medium. I've been doing some research for a presentation, and I ran into Levana Protocol's hack, which was very similar to what happened in Black Friday, where like because of gas prices going, skyrocketing in a short amount of time, Oracles were not able to update their prices, and then Black Thursday happened. Levana had a similar situation, but it was actually purposeful. Like the attackers purposely attack the chain, or send a bunch of transactions to increase the gas cost and stall their Oracle updates, and then liquidated a bunch of assets. With that in mind, I thought this was a very, very old talk that honestly I'm sometimes tired of just doing it over and over again, but I think it's super important. And that is a new, I guess, attack vector in a way, because it's not new in that we always knew that if it's easier to attack the chain than the Oracle, they're going to attack the chain. Like that's just, normal. We know that. But the fact that they're doing it purposefully is because new chains or app chains are specifically designed generally to lower gas cost. And with that, they make it cheaper for people to attack them. And that's an attack vector, and it's going to become more and more common as more app chains become more and more broadly used. So anyway, go read it if you haven't, or just brush up on your best practices and make sure that you cover your bases for attack vectors. It keeps the industry safe, it keeps legislators away, and it just really keeps headaches away from founders and employees when these things happen, because they're very, very stressful. So with that said, Ryan, did we get any questions?
We did have one question regarding tokenomics from longtime community member Sync. He's essentially asking, in the blog post of Tellor Layer, it was mentioned that there are no major anticipated tokenomics changes, but he was wondering, with regards to the time-based rewards, if there's going to be any consideration for reducing them in light of TRB's impressive rally in recent months. Essentially, the idea is he figured the reduction would actually help the protocol uphold that value accrual and perhaps augment it over time, thus further supporting security of Tellor Layer.
Yeah, I mean, our tokenomics and our full design for our next version of Tellor is not set in stone, so we're happy to take feedback and do more research on it. My biggest, so the TBR it's connected to the amount of staking that people do and how much they are rewarded for having this stake and doing all of this work of providing this data. There is a minimum amount of stake that is directly attached to US dollars to guarantee a minimum amount of security. So with that minimum amount of security, we also have to make it worth it for people to want to participate in the network. But as the way that it is designed currently is, as the price of the token increases, so does the security of the system. And because basically their value is their value locked, it's also increasing, then that should have sort of a corresponding benefit, which is being able to earn higher time-based rewards. Because we're not up at this point, because we're not updating it, that makes it worth it for them to continue to keep their tokens locked and continue to stay in the system. But with that said, yes, it is, it is something that we are thinking about in terms of like, we will not fully finalize the design until we go live or right before, and we'll analyze the price and how we can actually capture those fluctuations. Because right now it's nice that it's up, but what happens when it's down? We have to guarantee our users some sort of security. So we have to look at it, you know, both ways. Like you can't just look at the positive side of it. But yes, we'll happy, you know, we're gonna continue to research this and look into it. And if anybody has any other thoughts about it, please jump in. We can't hear you, Spuddy.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to point out on this question is just that the inflation, you know, the new tokens being added to the existing supply, if you do the math, it's actually really, really low compared to a lot of other tokens. And, you know, the price has appreciated the way that it has with the inflation at the level where it is. So it's really debatable whether or not inflation, like if we decided to print like a bazillion tokens or none at all, like would it affect the price naturally? I think it's just up to, like, the trading narratives that are happening on Twitter are probably affecting the price a lot more. I think, like, you know, whatever's happening in the moment in a few months or a few months ago, I don't know. Just like that stuff seems to affect the price more than the actual math of tokens being added to the supply.
Yeah, speculation is a hard thing to tackle, but I think for me, the way that I like to think about this is more about the cost benefit and the game theory about it, because ultimately what we want is people to be staked and be incentivized to be staked and provide good data, and not, and you know, and that's how I look at it. It's like, yes, maybe we will address something that will, you know, along those lines as time goes by, and we'll definitely do more research on it, but let's not lose focus of what we want is a secure system. So, any other questions?
That's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys at 1, some of you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, okay. No?